Welcome to Shri and Kira Live, the voice of passionate action. Celebrating 21 years of continual public service, Shri and Kira offer you the blessing of the experience of I am as you are. Enjoy timeless wisdom, divine inspiration, community connection, and joyful fun. Discover your best life filled with the peace, love, and joy of the yoga of self-ascension as you ignite your dreams with the law of instantaneous manifestation. And now, sit back and relax and welcome Shri and Kira.
Namaste, beloved ones, and welcome to Shri and Kira Live. I am wisdom teacher Sri Ram Ka.
And I am Master Lady Kira Ra, welcoming you to our final show before Egypt. So this is a massive moment. There is so much happening. The next time we are with you live, we will be live from the Ascension Temple in Luxor. So this is a massive moment. We are in the middle of the third revelation, which we have been working with, which is all about the way that the mind control, which is already in you, whether you know it or not, is working, how to release it, and how to move through. And this is such an extraordinary experience today. This is really a journey. And I want to, right now, before we go any further, remind you, if you are not grabbing Monday Magic, make sure you are there at our culminating Monday Magic 1 week from tomorrow, because lineage holder alert, we must do a time slide. It's not a time jump, it's a time slide. We have blended potentialities and we need to slide. So huge moments ahead. Oh my goodness gracious. And Shri, I think, is Omashar here to open it up?
Absolutely. Before we bring in Brother Omashar, I just want to again say thank you to each of you for saying yes to your divine appointment, for saying yes to your ascended mastery, and taking right now a big, full breath in.
Ave.
Let a smile come to your face and just feel the centering.
Indeed. And we're going to go ahead and invite our beautiful Omashar in. Hey there, Omashar. Welcome, welcome.
Namaste. And I say yes, as I always have. In spite of myself, I still say yes.
Or because of yourself, maybe.
Because of myself. Yeah.
Your true self.
It looks absolutely delightful there. And I'm so excited to be vibrationally coming with you to Egypt. As I was mentioning just before, I haven't been there for over a decade now. And so it's another home from home, as it is for many of us. Yeah, and so I have a little song I'm going to share, and it's called The Tear That Lost Fear of the Ocean. And
wow.
Let's go there.
Yes, let's do that.
When flowers grow, dripping with dew, and rivers flow in sapphire blue, I suddenly know what a fall gone I knew. I'm a tear that's lost fear of the ocean. And when autumn sun kisses my cheek, whilst cool winds come from mountains peak, with poems on my tongue but no wish to speak, I'm a tear that's lost fear of the ocean. I'm a tear that's lost fear of the ocean. Sweet water, when I give you my heart, I already start to feel better. Sweet water, won't you send me your love? forever and ever and ever, forever and ever and ever. When tender hands trace memories where powdered sands meet temperate seas, I don't understand, but I love mysteries. I'm a tear that's lost fear of the ocean. And when evening stars shine all around, my grieving heart's no longer down. And things that were lost, that's where true hope's found. I'm a tear that's lost fear of the ocean. I'm a tear that's lost fear of the ocean. And sweet water, when I give you my heart, I already start to feel better. My sweet water, won't you send me your love forever and ever and ever? And sweet water, when I give you my heart, I already start to feel better. My sweet water, won't you send me your love forever and ever and ever? I'm a tear that's lost fear of the ocean. I'm a tear that's lost fear of the ocean. I'm a tear that's lost fear of the ocean.
Wow. Wow. You called us to the water. We had to move.
I apparently did.
We got up and we were like, okay. I had to tie my hair up and quick move everything because your song felt like the flow of the water itself.
So I'm wondering, because that was not the song that I had actually chosen for today. And then about an hour ago when I was rehearsing, it said, no, you're going to play this one. And so we must have just been all coalescing. And so there it is.
Oh, we are definitely coalescing. And this is, I'm just going to move this a little bit. You can see right at the top, this is our fountain of creation with our beautiful Nitaraj at the top.
Wow, beautiful.
He's pretty huge. He's probably
Yes.
about, he's pretty big coming in. And let's see right there, that beautiful, beautiful citrine coming down
Yes.
from the amethyst
Wow.
into
Lovely.
the orchids.
Gorgeous.
Ecuador has over 1,000 variety of native orchids.
Right.
And orchids everywhere. And so thank you for calling the energy of creation itself.
Yes.
Song.
Namaste. Looking forward to the rest of this morning.
We're
See
so
you.
grateful.
Avesa.
Love you, Omashar. Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for that breath. We'll see you in Egypt.
Yeah, yes, you will.
And so for all of you who may not have been aware, we are very grateful that forming a bridge for us will be Omashar over in Colorado while we are live from Luxor at our usual time. So you want to make a note. Remember, that's going to be the very first Sunday in June. I believe it's June 4, where you can grab us live. And I thank Omashar again for moving us into the fountain of creation in this moment.
Yeah. It's a beautiful segue, a beautiful opportunity to remember that everything is energy. And when the energy flows and we are in harmony with it, things just seem to happen with ease. And when we have an idea about how it's supposed to be and we're swimming upstream, things get a little rougher, don't they? So it's a reminder of take a breath and trust the flow and line up. And from there, make your next choice.
Always, right? So speaking of choices, we are so grateful as we're settling into our quick set change. And as we're settling in here, one of the things that I really want to encourage you to do is to, as Shri keeps encouraging you, as Omashar was closing with, really bring your hands to your heart, receive the breath, be with the breath, hear the water, be in the divine nature of Gaia herself, because in this moment, this is the healing light. The healing light is emanating out of the sun and out of the moon, the two sources of true lumens that are left in this potentiality, the sun and the moon. And those lumens in and of themselves are coming through such an extraordinary filter that the gift of the water, and I love how an hour ago Omashar was inspired, and you and I, actually it was about an hour ago when Sri and I said, you know, we were going to go live from the pyramid and we really felt called to the water therapy center. So now we know why. Yeah. And as your hands are on your heart and as you are receiving, in this moment, I'm inviting you to offer your prayers, your love, and all that you are able to our beloved Amazon. And I'm asking this in behalf of the name of those that have nothing. And I mean nothing. And we have the pictures of our villages that we're supporting being burned down. We are doing everything we can to get these gardens started again. And I want to call out those of you that are working in programs where all you care about is the medicine and all you care about are the famous ones coming in. And you see people like us as competition. The reason I'm calling you out on this show right now, and I'm this close to putting your name out there, and to ask all of you to start writing them and asking them why. Why is it more important to build a retreat center to make money, to bring people, famous people, it's got to be for 5 or 6 famous people only, right, at a time, and to have them pay thousands of dollars to do ayahuasca when the Amazon is dying, when the Amazon herself is all black water? Did you know that? Did you know that all fish are black water fish in the Amazon now? Always, but even more. And to know that clean water, as the water is flowing here, clean water doesn't exist because of the mining runoff that is poisoning the water. So are you drinking a cup of tea right now? Like Sri and I, you know, I mean, we always have our cup of tea, right? Are we drinking our water? Please bless it twice. Please bless it twice for the fact that you have it in your hands, that you are capable of holding. And I use a lotus cup and it's green so that we are always blooming, all of us, through all of our own muck and mire, right? And so in this moment, with all my heart and soul, Sri and I have done everything we can to help Darwin Rodriguez and now up to 33 tribes that we have brought together. Yes, no, not yesterday. A couple days ago, we met again with a very dear friend of ours, Jane Britton, who is doing a similar project in the south of the Amazon. And we know that together we are better. And we are already in correspondence on how we can bring our programs together. And Jane is working so hard on getting that water situation handled. And we are up in the north doing the exact same thing. People need food and water. The sacred medicine is theirs. And to capitalize on the sacred medicine for the sake of something that seems really exotic and fun at the cost of those that are honestly trying to save it is not okay if you are seriously holding a consciousness of support for the all. And before you might think that I myself am being a little judgy in how I'm sharing this, let me invite you into this. Starving. I don't.
How can you?
We don't. We literally live and moved into where people were starving, but they're not starving anymore. And when everyone is bountiful, come see the prototype that we have happening here. Come look at it. Come watch. We're not talking about it. We are foot, boots, hands, heart on the street, living among. Someone recently asked one of our people who I had representing us, beautiful, incredible, talented woman who is just like, oh my God, this woman, right? She should be like the diplomat of the diplomats. And I invited her to talk to one of these people who wanted to talk to me about our Indigenous connections and do things with us. And when she asked the simple question, and I want you to really bring your hands back to your heart on this one, because it's been taking me a week to get over it, but you guys need to hear this. When she asked the simple question, and you want Kira to come and you want her to bring all these people and you want her to bring all her contacts, and what have you done for the Indigenous? And you know what the response was? It was a gasp and anger and, well, what do you mean? And then it was a moment And here's what they said. We gave them cell phones. We gave them cell phones. As a part Indigenous woman, you know how hard it is for me not to cry over that? You're giving cell phones? Is this $24 and some trinkets? I mean, what are we really doing here? Where have we forgotten that without our Amazon, which we are so blessed to hear every day, because our river right across where our river house is, it sits on an Amazon tributary. And we have that house on the market because we pray it can become a center of survival and showing how important it is to take care of the river and that people might want to live there or own it or work with us on that. And so that water right now, you cannot drink. We can drink ours because it's been filtered through tons more rocks, but the people living there are dying. We brought to you more than once people that took 3 days to come here. They first had a canoe up the Amazon, a minimum of 4 hours, where they gathered at another tribe's central location at Darwin's place, right? Which is a hut. We're trying to just build them a proper shelter. And they all got there. And then they had to take buses and to get here. But they came because they love you that much.
That's right.
And that's what you need to know. They love you more than you can ever fathom. This humble, remember that beautiful, humble woman in that beautiful, simple, hand-woven linen dress with her hand-done plant painting, her humble crown of feathers. She's the last one. Just tell me what we're doing wrong that we can't get through to your heart. Why can't we get through? Why are we being blocked at every turn? Why do I talk to every single person I can and they look me in the eye and they tell me they're going to come forward and then they ghost us? What I know is that saving the Amazon is about saving it for us all, so that your children even understand what it could be, is in any potentiality. And this is why next Monday at Monday Mastery, a week from tomorrow, we're going to slide. We need to do a time slide, because in this specific potentiality in this moment right now, and please, with all my heart and soul, if you have not gotten your copy of the 2023 calendar, please get it. Please get it, because read the predictions that the Ascended Masters wanted you to put out. That last year, during the 2 weeks, many of you remember that I had to pull out of all communication. That during those 2 weeks, I had a major attempt on my life. I had people around me that you all think are wonderful leaders, and they are to that group of consciousness, who sent me the most horrific attacks ever. And I went through all of that with my beloved husband and all of you, because that's how much I love you. And that's why our connection with Darwin and those tribes is so deep. They pray for you every day, every day. We're in constant communication with Darwin. And I have never in my life have I bowed before someone with such grace and love and the ferocity of the lion that is necessary. And this is why we are truly family. This is why we're here. And so I just want to close by sharing with all of you that Global Minga, we are doing everything we can. And we are talking to everyone we can. But we're looking at you to help us. Help us with your prayers. If that's where the help needs to come in, then help us with your prayers. Pray to open the hearts of those we're speaking to. Why are those that look us in the eye? And then I reach out to our people, and then they ghost us on the back end. We're in integrity, and we are living in the consciousness of that. And so are you. And so thank you, because our Amazon is dying. And what you don't understand is that there is, and Jane brought this to our attention, and it's killing me. And only in the fact of, let's do more, right? Very human side of me right now. And thank you for receiving that. 88% malnutrition among the tribal young. Did you know that? 88% malnutrition. She's getting food brought in that's being stopped We're doing everything we can to clean the water, get the food, stop the malnutrition, and to really unify the tribes outside of the greed, the competition, and jealousy that so far every organization that I have encountered that is theoretically helping the Amazon is really about helping themselves and getting some really good publicity around it.
Yep.
But not one of them is doing the work other than Jane. My hat's off. You're gonna see some strong partnerships coming in there.
You know, I just want to echo some of
Please,
this.
and thank you. And remember, you can put your comments at YouTube.
It's our sharing this morning is not about a guilt trip. It's about
No,
an
none of it.
awakening.
It's a sharing of what's going on, guys.
This is about an awakening of
Yeah.
truth. And one thing I want to say to you is Darwin and the 30 clans, the tribes that he is organizing, these are indigenous peoples that have lived lifetime after lifetime in harmony with nature, and over the thousands of years have acquired wisdom beyond compare.
Yes. The real stuff.
Authentic, harmonious, balanced wisdom. And Darwin, he had a tear in his eye and he said to me, all we want to do is teach the young, teach the people who are ready to understand the gift of these plants, these medicines, these trees. So that's a very sincere offer from a man who's dedicated his life to the health, happiness of all on Gaia.
And those of you that have met him, he's been here many times. Hopefully you've connected with us through some of the broadcasts. You feel it, you know it.
And so what has created discomfort for us is that there are many different quote unquote nonprofits or organizations focused on doing work with the indigenous. And I'm not here judging their work, but
All great work.
But what we have noticed is it's more superficial. It's about the photo ops and bringing in folks.
It's about retreat centers in the jungle and how special that is to go get ayahuasca trips.
So the thing that I want to
A
really,
little different than the reality.
what I want to impart here is a recognition that since it was discovered that the Amazon basin, and it starts up at Colombia and it goes all the way down to Brazil, that the Amazon River area is rich with minerals, in addition to the lungs of the planet. Okay, rich.
Really
with
take that
minerals.
in, the lungs of the planet. And remember, our lungs also carry our grief.
Yes.
So really remember all of the symbology here.
So when Kara shared with you the 80 some odd percent,
88%.
88% malnutrition, it didn't used to be like that.
No, it's because
That's the modern influence because the governments have given licenses for mining to extract gold and resources, and the chemicals they use for the mining have polluted the water.
they can't fish.
They have cut down all the trees,
They
the
can't
animals
grow.
have left, the fish are gone, the animals are gone. And they're now, the indigenous have become indentured servants for the corporations.
And so all they
That's
have
the
left,
truth of what has happened.
they literally have no choice but to literally become slaves. And I'm using the word because that's exactly what they're doing. And we have a way around that. There are enough of us that if we say yes to integrity first, we can do it. And for all those that care about the dollar first, I can show you how to do it and still make tons of money. But guess what? So does the tribe.
Yeah.
So does the tribe.
So-
It's got to be fair.
So our focus is how to support them to expand their gardens, to expand revenue
And
opportunities.
not have them burned down.
And to teach the next generations the wisdom that is in the hands of very few elders at this point. And
So-
that's our passion around this, is to conserve, to support, to nourish that which is authentic and of
Yeah.
integrity.
And so let me show you, take a hand to your heart, and thank you for receiving our
Thank you.
sharing, because we have no one else to share it with. So we're sharing it with you because we have really tried to move some hearts, and it's amazing how many hearts say great things on the air and a lot of different things off the air. And that's the one thing you know about Shri and I, you get exactly what you're staring at. And so, my loves, I want to show you what's happening right now because it ties into all of this. You may remember, I want to start here today. You may remember the 7 polarities of free will. We've been talking all about it. The 7 polarities of free will are what played out during the Ascension escalator, right? 2015 through 2021. We all got off the elevator at 2022 and went top floor, good luck, right? And you know the story, right? So look at this chart. We just finished this morning. Literally, Sri and I literally, this was done this morning, because this is what's happening, is all of the unification energy. So if you just gaze and you notice that what I put there was the alchemical transformation energy that's happening. So you're in this constant flux of alchemical transformation right now. Everything is fluid, flow, water, Mother Amazon, it's all coming together, right? So everything is fluid. Everything is fluid. And in the 7 polarities of free will, there are these experiences of conscious awareness. Now, what does that mean? Well, what it means is, as you gaze at the chart, you notice that you have fear and trust, right? Fear and trust. Those are the energies. We know that the 7 polarities exist here through the energies of fear and trust. And during 2015 through 2021, they went through a 7-layered experience. Well, you can see right now that experience has gone into a different sense of expansion. And that what's happening, and the reason I put this overlaid or on top of the unified field, showing that when that I, remember with the unified field, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to shrinkare.com, read the article, it's on the homepage. But when that I first reveals, it sees itself. But when it can let go of the ego, which is those first 3, jealousy, greed, and competition, when it can let go of jealousy, greed, and competition, it's able to move and it sees its other. And that's how it begins. And then we birth, and then we ignite the diamond portal. And then out of the center comes the open eye through the beautiful sea of neutrality. And what you're seeing here are all of the aspects are playing out. You know, ultimately, energy is neutral. It is how we apply it, is how we bring it forward, how we experience it that assigns its energy. But we are in the moment of the conscious awareness and the experience of sane. So if you are consciously aware that you are constantly angry, constantly debating, constantly whatever, well, right now, that means that you are in the experience of the conscious awareness of fear. And you're going to see all those energies there. But those top 3, jealousy, greed, and competition. Imagine, had I been on the phone with people who were in integrity, and instead of meeting what I was offering, which is, please take it over, you can have it, don't even have to have my name on it, let's just help them, right? So instead of seeing jealousy, greed, and competition, imagine if you could greet everyone, every circumstance, every aspect of your life with support, abundance, and co-creation. And I want to stop right there. Imagine that right now. And I'm stopping there because I want you to imagine that right now.
Support, abundance, and co-creation.
Period. It's triangles within triangles within triangles within triangles. And how beautiful that we have that energy, right? So we're going to start there. Now I'm going to put it back up. We're going to finish, because this is the energy we're in right now. And then I'm going to go right to the calendar, and then I'm going to show you how the AI and the brain control devices and what's happening. So if we say, okay, our fear, we know that fear energy really begins with jealousy, greed, and competition. Well, what do jealousy, greed, and competition birth? Lack. Jealousy, greed, and competition are all about there's not enough. You're jealous because you're worried there's not enough. You're jealous because you think somebody has something that you want without remembering that that's for you, right? Reverend Ike, that's for me, right? So jealousy, greed, competition, greed, they are the playground of lack. And I put these 2 together because they really are the same energy, and that's the misdirection manipulation. Say that one 5 times fast, right? Mm-hmm. I think it's called a spin room. I think it's become cliche. It's when integrity starts being something that wants to be defined. And because of that, and I'm going to stop right there, because those 2 play together. Those 2 play together because what are they doing? They're taking you out of any sense of the spiral energy to hold you in a lateral moment. So whatever that sense of attainment is, you'll be able to bathe in it, right? So you're bathing, basking in whatever level of attainment you have, but because of all these other energies, you can't break free of it. And you will align yourself, not a lion. This is when you really are aligned because you're in a line, right? So you will align yourself with those who will be your partners in pain. Sacred Union, Sri and Kira 101, go read Sacred Union, The Journey Home, and then make sure you read the Ascension Renaissance right now, right? But Archangel Zadkiel 101, partners in pain. People that band together because of their common pain. Someone you can sit and say, wah, 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 and they'll say, yeah, wah, wah, wah. Remember that. That is a wonderful place to grow in your safety. And we all go through it. And it's beautiful and it's wonderful. And it's lateral. So if you sincerely are in a experience where your heart calls you to serve in other ways, or calls you to pop through, or to expand consciousness, which you do not need medicine to do, but to do all of that, then the gift, the real gift, is to be able to relax out. And I'm going to put the graphic back up because it's that important. And we'll make sure those of you in the e-card, we'll make sure you get a copy of it, right? So that lack, misdirection, manipulation, look at the other side of that. It's manifestation and integrity. You cannot command the law of instantaneous manifestation unless it comes from an integrous heart outside of ulterior motive, because misdirection, manipulation is ulterior motive. It's saying my motives are the only ones that matter. I'm going to make sure everything lines up to support that. And I'm going to make sure everybody I call into me supports that as well. And then that brings us to those final five, which become like a 5-pointed star. Hesitancy, doubt, hopelessness, hate, and control. And you see how it all begins with fear, which breeds jealousy. It goes literally right like that. And so here's what's so powerful. If you look on the other side of that, remember we've stabilized, we have our integrity, right? Our 5-pointed star is passionate action, presence, knowing, love, and compassion. That is the moment before us all right now.
So take a breath and kind of let that in. It's easy to recognize that certain media, certain movies, certain public displays are organized around that column, the fear-based column, and are inviting partners in pain, are inviting people to participate in the frequency that is not nourishing the evolutionary process directly. There is an indirect nourishment that happens when we get caught in a fear-based reality and then awaken through that and go, oh, I'm in a fear-based reality, time to make a choice. Cool, it actually supported you. The piece that I think is important to impart right now for all of us is to recognize you can make a choice now.
Every breath.
You don't have to wait for pain and suffering to nudge you into a new choice. You can take a breath and say, I am here. I am ready. I am open. Guide me. And to release the need to control and to be in full alignment with your divine mastery presence.
Lion, alignment. And as part of that, you have to be willing. And this is honestly where it usually is, where, the kind of rubber meets the road kind of thing. At the end of the day, it will be your tenacity, your spiritual tenacity and willingness that, and I would say, go read Lost Books of the Unseen, book 5, go to shrinkhere.com. This is all complimentary. It's at our website. Go to the installments, read that. Because in there, what it talks about is that when you come out of the woods, meaning when you finally say yes to you, when you're ready to stand up and say, you know what, who am I not to be? What do you mean I'm not? What do you mean I'm living in lack, or I'm living in hopelessness, or there's this weird jealousy, greed, and competition? When you're willing to live it, I mean, really live it, it means that you're going to lose some of your current partners in pain. And that's the challenge. The challenge is to own it. And I always go back to my beautiful husband. It's in our book, Sacred Union, The Journey Home. But when I met Shri, He was ending, it's in our book, he was ending a 19-year marriage for no good reason other than he absolutely knew that that was not his journey. And had he not done that, none of us would know him. And so it's that type of courage. It's the courage to look in the mirror and own you. And that means that you get to own what you've messed up with the love of the master and the compassion of the fifth dimension that recognizes that as the gratitude for every single thing that brought you to this moment of awareness. Because from there, the passionate action ignites, right? That final 5-pointed star I was just showing you, the passionate action ignites and everything comes together. And however it was meant to come together, it will all come together. But that's the level of trust, because you cannot exist in this potentiality simultaneously in trust and fear. You're going to be in one. And it's about being honest enough with yourself to look at it and then smiling through it and going, you know what? I got this. Because for every partner in pain that might decide and try to tell you why you're wrong, and they're doing their job perfectly, because your mastery anchors with every time you're invited to doubt and walk through it. Every time you're invited to doubt and walk through, your mastery anchors with greater presence, right? So you might say goodbye to some of them, but here's the gift. And I think it's a big gift.
It is a big
right?
gift.
You walk out into a field and meet beings that you didn't even know existed, because we're hanging out with these beings, right? And that's one of the things in the Lost Books of the Essene as well. You know, those who are asleep, tuck them in, take care of them. Don't even try. Those who are drowsy, give them some water, let them pace. But who you want to be with? We want to be with you. We want to be right here. That's how you, so many people ask us, how do you sustain? How do you keep, how do you keep the field open? Active choices of who you blend your energy field with, and letting go of doing anything because it feels like an obligation. When you're doing something from obligation, it means your joy has been collapsed. Even if you think you're joyful around it, go deeper. Breathe that in. One pause, please. Thanks.
So many of us have guilted ourselves into behaviors and choices, those quote unquote obligations, because we believe that's the correct choice. However, we have trouble finding the joy in that choice.
Right.
And that is a call to consciousness.
Mm-hmm. And Sri, I love that call to consciousness. And in that call to consciousness, I was thinking, we're going to talk about how to diffuse and what's going on with the brain control device. And Omashar has about 5 minutes left. Why don't we have him give us a transition song? Can we do that?
We'd love that.
All right, Omashar, I know you only have about 5 minutes left, but can you grace us with that gift? Maybe play yourself out?
Yeah, exactly. In 5 minutes, I turn into a golden pumpkin. So, wow, thank you. Thank you for taking me into the depths of my heart and to the place of intent. And my grief partners, holy smoke, how many grief partners have left me recently? Quite a lot, actually. However, we're in this together and we're clearing out the chalice of the lungs so the Holy Spirit can fully anchor and be present, right? And okay, here we are, here we go.
All right, let's all breathe and receive.
With you here inside, don't worry, and I love you more than you could know. So come along now and lay your head on my heart, close your eyes, dear, and rest a while in me. Keep open your heart and let in the sun, and bathe yourself in the garden of one. know you're at home and in my embrace. Here is empty space. And now I ask you to take a step towards me, toward me. I can feel your longing to be home. So come along now and lay your head on my heart, on my heart. Close your eyes, dear, and rest a while in me. Keep open your heart and let in the sun, and bathe yourself in the garden of one. Know you're at home and in my embrace. Here is empty space. La da da ba, and da da da, and da da, and da da. And I love you more than you could know. Keep open your heart and let in the sun, and bathe yourself in the garden of one. Know you're at home and in my embrace. Here is empty space. Empty space. Yay.
We are so grateful. Thank you with all our heart and soul for that transition. It is so perfect.
Yes, I
We
feel,
love you.
feel soothed and renewed.
Oh, in every way.
We shall see you in Egypt.
Yes, we shall.
I love you so much. Namaste.
Namaste, sweetheart. We love you.
Bye.
Good night. All right, my angels. And what we're going to do right now is take a moment and talk about this AI and this mind control energy. And there's so much we can unpack here. But one of the things that really caught our attention, and we don't track with a lot of things that are happening out there because we're so here doing this work. But what really caught my attention was when the head of Google, the chairman, I forget his name in the moment, very thin fellow with the glasses, when he said that, and he meant it so cheeky, oh, well, we haven't decided how to define consciousness yet. Really, really fascinating. And I want you to take that in because we're going to be doing a whole show on that. And we've been working on a treatise about this, but I want you to just really breathe that in. And if you're a part of our newsletter list, we sent out a link. It was actually to a 60-minute segment where we caught that, where somebody said, and we caught that. And it's really worth just really listening with an awakened eye to that, because this is really what they're referring to. And I want to go first. We're going to put up, here we are. There we are, my loves, May. Okay, so May, and I know a lot of you think of mothers, and I know today there's a Hallmark holiday called Mother's Day. And Tree and I really enjoy it being a celebration of divine feminine in all of us, the mother in us all. You know, how when we can all embody the mother and the father, the presence of the one and the all. So that's a gift for today, because you look at tomorrow, what's happening tomorrow? Release. Tomorrow is the release of the Mercury retrograde. Now we're going to be in that post phase until the 31st. Remember, this was the whole month. But what is so extraordinary is that we had that conjunction last Wednesday. Remember that Jupiter-Mars effect, that amplification right in the heartbeat, in that pulse beat of Ave Sa. coming into tomorrow where the Mercury is gone. And if your eyes relax beyond the symbol, you see how the evasive symbol's in there, but it's like a trinity, right? Because we've been folding and working with time. This is why next week on the 22nd, and I love because it had to be the 22nd, and I love that it was already our Monday. Gotta love that synergy. But because 2022 was all affected by the 22, and because it's not a time jump, it's a time adjustment, a slide is really the word. It has to be on the 22nd because we need to be able to open all of that up. And if you look at today, when Mercury is releasing and you look at the 22nd, you notice where we are. That is, if you can relax your eyes because we're inside. Remember, you're in the discus of Vishnu that rose on 8/8/2020, building into 8/8 this year. And so when you gaze at that energy, you see how it's like, it almost looks like bubbles or clouds of creation,
Movement.
right? The movement, and then gaze into what's happening by the end of this week. We are going into creation itself again with the strongest pulse of the heartbeat. So it's important to get that AI, the artificial intelligence molecule, is really what it is, has introduced itself into this equation fully formed. So it's important to let go of any illusion of where it could go or that this is just the beginning. This is already fully formed. It's already done. Preoccupying is another form of distraction. Getting distracted by the distraction itself is like a double layer. It's not that you can't find your way out. It's just going to be a whole lot harder to do it. And so, as you know, with our Mercury retrograde, and now that it's releasing, the revelations that came through, the three revelations have just been mind-blowing for all of us, literally. And where we are right now, we have so much up on our computer. Forgive me, there it is. Okay. I want you to just take a moment and breathe when you look at this. And Sri, do you want to chat about it? Would you like me to chat about it?
Well, I think a couple of little setups that
Please.
are important is we've been talking about the influence of this artificial intelligence, but it's beyond just that. Earlier on, Master Lady Kira Ra mentioned true lumens.
Mm-hmm.
And lumens are indeed the light, the energy of the light that is congruent with the essence of who you are.
Mm.
It's important to recognize and remember, you took birth into the human experience. You're not a human trying to go up into your spiritual realm. You are a spiritual being having a multidimensional experience here in body. The true you is what some people call the higher self or the soul. Your divine mastery presence is your authentic self. Your personality, your body, your ego are all vehicles for experiencing the density form. They're vehicles. So when the lumens get refracted through movies and presentations and devices, because light is an essential native nourishment, when the frequency of light is carrying distorted concepts and visuals, they're actually influencing what we think of ourselves in the world.
Exactly.
And there's many, many parents out there who have said, hey, Hollywood, why are you seeding my children with so many of these unhappy things? And we're not going to get into that conversation except to recognize that information that is carried on a projected field of lumens is more easily and unconsciously absorbed. That's the
Breathe that in.
That's what I'm trying to get across.
Right now, as you breathe that in, it's also important to recognize, I'm going to put the graphic back up, that in this very specific moment, as we are in this experience of this potentiality on May 7th, you see down there on the bottom, Shri and I that morning, this all came through. And every once in a while, we get these trance diagrams. Well, this one came through and it was very specific about the eyeball. And I want you to see how that trance diagram, you see the eyeball there, it's like, right?
Yeah.
And you kind of skin. Well, if you go up to, and I was trying to superimpose it all so that it's easy to understand. You see that on the profile view there, there's the skull, then there's the brain, right? And then there's the ear, the placement of the ear, and that blue circle with the red around it, that's that rotating eyeball. So imagine that your eye muscles are all gone and your eyeball is just spinning. That is exactly what's happening to you all the time through the artificial propulsion of these lumens. And it has created this, what the masters call the lumens refractory device. And it enters through the center top of the eye. And when we turn off the share, we'll show you. But you see those yellow arrows? And that's why I offered you the cross section of the front. And if you look at the eyes there, you really get the impact, right? You see that? So those yellow arrows, that is where all of this is coming into you. And then it literally sets the energy of the eye spinning. And what happens is in that spin, you become literally there is an addiction to that field and what that field feels like, which is why you wake up and go, I need it. I need it. I need it. I need it all the time. I'm going to, rather than sit and talk to people, I'm going to do this. I'm going to sit at lunch and I'm going to do this. And all of those lumens are artificial. And it's right here. You see that? It's that top, right there. That's where it's coming straight in. And how many of you have noticed this is affecting? When did the other ensoulment come out, Sri? When did they first warn us? And this was something I want to share with you because I think it's important to point out that after May 7th, when this came out, and I believe it was when we were with our Divine Mastery Presence group that we played it. Yeah. Sri remembered because he's always been the scribe and the questioner and the inquirer. But he remembered there had been an ensoulment many years ago about this.
So yes, in 2004, Archangel Zadkiel offered a wisdom teaching on true lumens and the importance of discerning that light is your native field, that you are light in working through the flesh and the essence. And I know it's challenging for the density brain to wrap around it. The key here is that the true lumens are your gateway home also. This is really important. When we are able to gaze at the sun, and sometimes that takes practice, when we are able to gaze through the sun into the center of the universe,
incredible.
We are remembering, we are reunifying with an essential frequency, an essential energy that is authentic to you as a spiritual being. When we become addicted to refracted lumens, we have placed a distance between our present state of consciousness and the truth of our integrous origin. We put a refraction in there. It's sort of like people who live in the city a lot and lose touch with nature. This is as a metaphor that the natural world is a reminder of an essential quality that is nourishing to us as beings.
Yes.
As is pure light. So the distorted light, the refracted light creates an addictive relationship, and it happens subtly, it's insidious, and I know you've all seen it out there with everybody in their devices.
Right. And as it's addicting, keep going, Sri. I want to see
it puts a lid on your ability to receive the whole spectrum of light. It basically is training you to only accept that which comes within that band of frequency.
So if you gaze at the picture as Sri's sharing, it all gets stuck at your eyeballs and it just keeps spinning. And it's designed to confuse, it's designed to distract, it's designed to keep you in a constant state of eternal cycles. And it stops at the eyeballs and it literally controls what all eyes see and how all light enters. And now if you look at the trance diagram first, and the reason I put it in was, you see that heavy line? So you see from the top of the eyeball, imagine it's a funky pair of glasses, okay? So what this device, and this is the actual device, and you have two, you have one on each side. So it enters in at the eyeball where the energy becomes self-generating. It just has its own generator. And then it goes straight up to the top of the ear. And we're going to show you in a minute with us, but it goes straight up to the top of the ear, then tight around the back of the ear. Then that loop is under the skull. And if you look at the red arrows, that's what I was doing my best to annotate for you. It goes tight behind the ear. Then you have to find your actual skull, trace your skull up until just before you get to the center of your neck. Right there, you're going to trace up, and then you're going to come down and you're going to flush that energy out, because that's where it attaches to the medulla. When you look at that graphic again, that's what that little curve is. And that's what we were showing you on the other graphic. So Free and I are going to show you right now, just to identify it. Give yourself, you know, sit up straight. I'm going to sit up straight with you. Okay, we're going to sit up straight. And let's just activate thumb, middle finger, thumb, middle finger, thumb. You want to do both. I would bring we're in a tight space here. There we go. Okay. Thumb, middle finger, thumb, middle finger, thumb, middle finger. Wait till you feel the energy building. We're going to release right here. See that here? I'm going to close my eyes because I think there we go. Right there. So we're right there. And then it's a straight. You're pulling straight to the top of the ear. I'm going to turn. I'll turn this way. Okay. So I'm straight to the top of the ear. Go tight. You're doing both hands at once, tight around the ear. Then find the skull and trace it up
At the base
all
of the
way,
cranium.
right? Right at the base of the cranium, all the way to the center of the neck. And then right there, pull it out. Now, you have to really push to pull it out. You don't want to pull your hands away. You want to really feel that connection, because remember, this is wrapped around your medulla. Now, there's a way that you can do this, and there's actually a process, and we're going to have this all posted up at Official Sri and Kiri YouTube tomorrow. So look for that graphic, and you can come and learn more about this device, because, oh, Sri has his glasses on. Perfect. So imagine that if this was the device I just showed you, both sides, just like the sides of the glasses, but it's radiating in.
Yeah.
And it's affecting other things.
It's affecting a lot.
Right. And that's why we have a lot more to share about it. So look for that video. Come back to our YouTube channel tomorrow. If you're on our newsletter list, you're going to get an e-card when it's released. This is that moment. It's the moment where, because of what will be a seemingly overnight takeover, where the energy of trust will be attacked. And this is the wrapper I want you to really take with you today. The rise in artificial intelligence will erode trust and do what? Engage fear. And when, I'm going to go right back to where we started today, right? When we are right now in this very minute in those energies of trust or fear, right? Remember that with the rise in AI, it's actually feeding the fear and trying to erode the trust, because the only thing, the invincible gift that you possess is the knowing, the trust, the being. And so we have lots of comments that just came in. I'm sorry, we only have 2 minutes left today. How would you like to handle that?
Well, let me just
Because
paraphrase
we don't want to cut your comments or cut short your responses. We just got them.
You can certainly tune in over at YouTube, but
And leave them as, if you want to leave them as comments in the YouTube section, we can respond at YouTube as well. Go ahead, Sri.
Sure. Yeah, you can do a direct comment in the YouTube, and we will come in. The thing I want to offer here is, Espen Farfaline says, we are supposed to react with anger to negativity. If you don't care, you will be indifferent. But if you do care, you will get angry. Anger is an expression of love. It is indeed the first step.
It's also a level of consciousness.
Anger is the recognition that something isn't right here.
Yeah.
And so it's an informative emotion. It says, hey, my boundaries have been violated.
And here's the key. You have a right to be angry. There's no judgment there. This sounds judgmental, right? No, anger's love. What anger is a call to presence. It's a call to action. It's a call that says, yeah, my boundaries have been violated. Yeah, I'm not feeling good about this. And then it's the opportunity for you to immediately grab it and love yourself enough. That's where the love component comes in, is to love yourself enough to realize it's there and to take passionate action from that space, right? when we engage in any of the polarity, it will just it'll keep our eyes rolling,
Keep us
literally.
inside. And so
Thank you. And there's a lot of other really great questions that I wanted more time with that one.
there is a masterful state of being that
Yes.
it seems to me it does take some practice. And that is the recognition that we are always able to reside in a state of transcendent trust and trust our guidance and be activated by our passion, not our reaction.
And I would have loved to have shared more with you about activating that and how you can do that. But I will invite you to go to the website, be there. There will be more coming out about this soon, but when you can honestly understand the freedom of the sacred sequence of incarnation so that you are free to activate your alchemical presence, when we come back from Egypt, all the codes are open and the master said this is the time to really unseal.
Yeah.
And so you are unsealing, and we invite you to continue your journey. We invite you to check out ShriAndKara.com, bring a hand to your heart from the Amazon, help us co-create some miracles, because we're really out of literal time. These people are dying, and it's a moment to really say yes to our amazing planet and to you. You are the master. You are the one. You are the everyday hero, and we're so grateful for you.
When we're able to calmly and with great love see all that is before us, not just selective, but to witness it all with compassion. From that point, our actions carry a truly magnificent state of compassion that we refer to as passionate action. And so, beloved ones, as we come to a close in this moment for this way of being together, reach out and just energetically love your neighbor, love this community, because we are indeed better together. And we, our consciousness and our actions, all synergize in good ways. So until we have the joy of being with you in 2 weeks' time, direct from Luxor, Egypt, we offer you an embrace of love, and may you trust that all is truly well.
Many blessings.
Namaste.